Now look, did y'all really think we weren't gonna talk about Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, no, actually, everyone thought that The View would discuss Jimmy Kimmel on Thursday morning, after it was announced on Wednesday afternoon that ABC was pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live from their airwaves after pressure from the Trump administration. But yeah, we all watched Thursday and Friday, and y'all didn't discuss it.
I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons?
Yes.
Well, really, the episodes of The View that are relevant in this situation is just Thursday and Friday's episodes. Yeah, just 2 of them. Don't need to watch all 29 seasons.
So you know no one silences us.
Well, I hate to bring it up, Whoopi, but you were suspended for 2 weeks for your comments about the Holocaust back in February 2022. Yeah, you weren't silenced on that topic, but you were silenced from weighing in on other topics for 2 weeks. Just saying. But yeah, let's stick to this, because, yeah, there's a lot to say here.
And when the news broke last week about Jimmy Kimmel's suspension...
So just to keep a timeline on this, Jimmy Kimmel's suspension was announced Wednesday, I think it was about like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Thursday morning, The View hosts and the producers would have come in, had their morning meeting, and surely discussed that as a possible hot topic. And ultimately, the decision was made that they would not discuss it on air.
Hot topics, not for you.
Today, Whoopi offered an explanation for that omission.
We took a breath to see if Jimmy was going to say anything about it first.
I'm not going to cast doubt on Whoopi's explanation, but that means I'm going to have to say, to wait for Kimmel to say something is the weirdest, strangest, illogical editorial decision I've ever heard in my life. As of Thursday morning, even for their morning meeting, they had all the details necessary to discuss that on the show. Because, yeah, they knew what the clip was. The FCC chair was the one that got mad. There's clips of him. And then Nexstar Media threatened to preempt the show on the 32 ABC stations that it owns across the country. And ABC decided to pull the show. To wait for Kimmel to say something, like, was that out of respect? So he got to go first before you said something? What difference does that make? You didn't need him to verify the story. He wasn't going to add any more details to the very bare bones of the story in order to discuss it. So as 11 a.m. starts to approach, you're waiting to see if Kimmel's going to say something. By the way, one of you have his email or phone number. Someone could have contacted him saying, hey, you're going to put a statement before 11 a.m.? No one did that, I guess. So yeah, eventually you get to close to your cutoff point of, you got to have your show put together for 11 a.m. So yeah, you don't have a Kimmel statement. Why was it then that, okay, well, we're not going to do the story then. Since Kimmel hasn't said something, we're not going to talk about it. Huh? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
But we are live here today, and we're getting into it now.
And by the way, Kimmel still hadn't said anything as of Monday, 11 a.m. But they talked about it on the show today. And why did that happen? Because of all the public pressure to talk about it.
So they need to stand up, and we need to demand the same from ourselves.
I found it interesting what Anna Navarro said today, who wasn't on Thursday's show, and so it wouldn't have been in that morning meeting where the decision was made to not discuss it on air because we're waiting for Kimmel to say something. But yeah, what she said was really interesting.
For me, I want to start by thanking our loyal viewers for demanding truth and courage from us. We deserve it, you deserve it, and we will give it to you.
I think that was a little critique of the show, not covering it on Thursday. Now, in terms of Friday's show, Whoopi gave some context for that Kimmel-free episode.
Then our show was on tape on Friday.
So I wanted to see if I could figure out when the Friday episode was taped. Because, yeah, was it before, like, the Kimmel thing even happened on Wednesday afternoon, or was it after? So I did figure it out. It was after. Yeah, it was Thursday afternoon they taped Friday's episode. Because Lily James was on Friday's episode. And I found a fashion blog that had a shot of her going into ABC Studios on Thursday in the outfit that she wore on The View. So, yeah, that was Thursday afternoon they would have taped that episode. So on one hand, you could say, oh, so they could have talked about the Kimmel thing, because, yeah, it was still after it happened on Wednesday afternoon. But I get why they didn't do it on Friday, because it's the kind of story that has the potential to evolve. It could have been, that Kimmel was totally fired by Friday afternoon, or he quit. Or, now we know it's coming back. Kimmel's coming back tomorrow. That just came out as of like an hour ago. So, yeah, if that had come out, on Thursday afternoon after they taped that episode, and they discussed Kimmel on Friday, it would have been a huge omission.
We're in a lot of trouble in this country right now.
Yeah.
See, I'm still very sympathetic to, The View's situation here, because I do think what I theorized on Saturday, that the reason that they didn't do it was, to protect the show. Tension is really high on Thursday, where they tape both these episodes. The heat has been turned up on them, so I sympathize with shying away.
Their intent is to scare us into silence and self-censorship.
Yeah, as Anna said, I think the viewers reminded the View of what they are. And yeah, they need to keep on being that critic. It's vital that they keep on being that critic of Trump and being that, you know, that free speech voice.
We talk about freedom of speech a lot because we are always in somebody's mess because somebody's decided that we have said something that's offensive. But we fight for everybody's right to have freedom of speech.
The thing I did not like about this today was Whoopi's tone.
Did y'all really think we weren't gonna talk about Jimmy Kimmel?
We're ridiculous for not realizing that they would talk about it 5 days after it happened. Oh yeah, we're the ridiculous ones, Whoopi? And yeah, of course, we're talking about it on Monday because of all the outcry that there was. So yeah, I just don't like that Whoopi was, you know, kind of putting it on us. We had the wrong thinking. Like, they were fine. Like, no, Whoopi.
I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons?
Yeah, how do you think The View handled this whole thing?
We're still here, we're still broadcasting.